So I thought I'd make a quick video. The recording this morning, or let's put it this way, the Zoom call this morning didn't record. We did it on mobile, and for whatever reasons, things don't always go as you plan them to, but we went ahead with our session. And we had a couple of committed ladies on the call this morning, and my good friend RK from India. And I always ask myself sometimes, geez, Steve, sometimes you keep showing up and you keep doing these things, and you have these amazing few that have the discipline to show up. But what about everybody else? What about everyone else that said that they were committed? What about everyone else that said they wanted to train? What about everyone else that said, hey, if you would just do a program, Steve, you would just give us the knowledge and the expertise, the reason why you were a mentor to other great people. Yeah, if you did that, I would show up. And like everybody, let's put it this way, most, not everybody, most people, when they show up on January 1st with a new resolution, I'm going to get in shape this year, and by the end of January, there's hardly anybody at the gym. It's empty. People don't have that most important thing called grit, perseverance, refusal to give up. It doesn't mean that you don't fall down. It doesn't mean that you don't get tired. It doesn't mean that you don't even get beat up. Maybe shed a little bit of blood. Maybe some tears, because it hurts. That's what we talked about this morning. I'm sitting here on the beach in Newport. Show you the and I'm here in Los Angeles, starting with a new company as of this last week, and flew in here on Thursday to do some training. We got training again today. I got to be in the office in about 2 hours, and I came down here to the beach to hang out with the few that I made a commitment to. I'm tired. I could have slept late this morning, but I didn't. I maintained my commitment. I maintained a discipline. And we talked about the reason why most people, when they're going up the side of the mountain and the angle starts to make your lungs burn and your breath goes from normal breath to a short pant, and your legs start to feel like they are concrete and they're hurting. And what's the difference between the person that's going to make it to the summit and most everyone else? And that's that moment of decision. That when you feel the pain and you feel like you can't put up with it anymore, and it moves from suffering to agony, that's the key point in our life. Will you persevere, or will you find a reason to justify your quitting? See, when you go back into the valley, in the valley, it's called a place of familiar misery. In the valley, where it's easy, where the average people live, where the mediocre people have chosen to hang out, that gave up their dream of climbing to a summit, of achieving things in life. Anybody can be there. In fact, most people are. They sing Kumbaya, holding hands and smiling at each other and saying, "You're just like me. Don't you feel comfortable here?" Yeah, that's right. There's no pain there. It's very comfortable. The only pain that you suffer is that deep, gnawing thing in the center of your soul that says, you weren't good enough. You weren't good enough to do what you said you were going to do. You chose to quit. And the reason why you quit is because you didn't have a big enough why. You didn't have a reason to not be a superman or a superwoman. You didn't have a big enough why that when the pain and the agony and the suffering and the tears that you have to shed, the sweat that you have to it's part of the effort, and you're afraid of the blood. You're afraid of the blood that when you fall down, and you hit your knees and you hit your elbows, your hands. You're worried about somebody laughing at you, somebody that lives in the valley in the place of familiar misery, the mediocre people, and you're afraid that they're going to laugh at you. And it just doesn't make any sense. Why should we care about people that have chosen to be losers? Why should we care about their opinions? It doesn't make any sense. So, you got to learn how to close your ears, how to maintain that bigger why, that when the pain and the agony and the suffering and the blood and the sweat and the tears, the difference between those of us that are mediocre, that never accomplish anything, that always find a reason to quit and blame and complain and all that garbage. And the reason and the difference is that the few of us don't turn around and give up and quit and run back to averageness. A few of us pause. Pause for just a bit to catch our breath, maybe even take a knee, but stay in the direction of where we said we were going, to stay focused on our alignment, to stay going after that summit, the achievement that we said once upon a time that it was worth the climb. You got to go through the pain, you got to go through the pressure, you got to feel the tension, and you got to risk dropping and not doing it as easy as you thought it was. But the reward is taking the knee, gathering your breath, slowing the pant from panic down to a good deep breath, and finding a place like I am this morning. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I could have slept another 2 hours easy this morning. But I came on out here because I committed to be here for those that are going up the mountain, that are refusing to be average, and those that are going to reach the summit, because I'm on the climb too. And it's not easy. But you take your pause, you gather your breath, and most important, you refocus your mind. And that mind has to be focused on, what is your bigger why? Why did you start the climb? Why are you on this journey? And this is when you get to find out whether your why is big enough, passionate enough. And if it is, then you'll take your pause and then you'll continue your journey. One step at a time. It might be only 2 or 3 more steps, and then you got to pause again. You're still moving in the direction of your objective. You're still going up the mountain toward your summit. And as long as you're still doing that, you are not a failure. You're not a failure. A failure is someone that has given up, even though they have a failing. A failure is someone that has acquiesced, that has thrown in the towel and quit. You don't have to be that. You can re-engage the mountain again. You can start going after that summit. And when you feel the pain, you take your pause. Gather yourself. Focus yourself. Catch your breath. Find a cool place to hang out. Whether it's a beach, mountain, river, nature works for me. Everybody's got to find their own thing. And then keep moving forward. Keep taking the pain a little bit at a time. The summit is worth it.